Mike.
Our project was Hangman. Alright, so the requirements for Hangman was to display the word Hangman on the LCD. There's a user selectable difficulty. We use the keyboard to enter, to choose difficulty, enter letters. For every wrong letter, a piece of Hangman forms on the right side of the screen. If the word is guessed correctly, congratulations, it's displayed otherwise game over. Alright, so the keyboard up-down arrows are used to select difficulty level, easy, medium, hard. After the difficulty's been selected, there's the number of spaces representing all the letters for the word is displayed, and you can now guess letters using the keyboard. When correct letters are guessed, they'll be filled in on their appropriate spaces. If there's two of the same letter, it'll fill in as many of the correct letter that was guessed there are. Incorrect letters will be displayed on the second line of the LCD, and the Hangman will start to form on the right side. Subsystem block diagram, pretty simple. The keyboard using the UART. We are using a Nexus 1 board. Those guys over there. Yeah, we had some trouble. We'll discuss later, but we have a keyboard working with a Nexus 1 board.
Okay, so this is like our software kind of flow of operation, I guess. Pretty messy, but overall really linear. So it starts out, initialize LCD, and then initialize all the required variables. And then it starts off with a difficulty, so the user can select by up or down, easy, hard, or medium. And then once the difficulty is selected, it then generates a random number for the lookup table to select which word should be used according to which difficulty. And then the user begins to guess a letter. If it's correct, then it checks if the number of letters that have been guessed correctly match the number of letters that are in the word, and that determines if you win, so it says congrats, and then it'll start over for the user to choose another difficulty if they want to play again. If it's incorrect, then it sees if the letter's been placed, like Alex said. If it hasn't been placed, it sees if it's been guessed. And if it hasn't been guessed, then it increments the incorrect letter count, and then it checks to see if you've lost. Pretty much it's 6 guesses because it's like head, body, then left arm, left leg, right leg. So that's pretty much how the game goes. This is like our design overview. Pretty simple hardware-wise. Soft-core microblaze processor to interface with the LCD and keyboard. And we use lookup tables for the key codes on the keyboard, as well as the words that are randomly generated. Difficulty selects which of the words will be chosen. And yeah.
Yeah, so basically there's a lot of if statements that are used to scan through each letter to check and see if it has been guessed, as Mike explained that flow diagram before. And we have a counter that keeps track of how many wrong guesses, so that it can create the Hangman and decide. You can tell when the game's over with. After the game is ended, either by winning or losing, there's a lot of variables, so they're all reinitialized, and the game goes back to the difficulty screen. When we were doing the integration testing, the first step was to determine a keyboard baud rate, and this ended up giving us a lot of grief. We tried like 5 keyboards, and we couldn't get like any of them to work. One of them, we get real funky characters, so we figured the baud rate was the problem, and we had the thing we found was when you're measuring the waveforms on the oscilloscope, you have to go for the smallest like transition between a high and a low to get the correct baud rate, or else it'll be like, I don't remember, too high or too low. So that took a while. Once we got a keyboard that worked, then we set up the UART. That wasn't a big problem.
Yeah, so we did custom characters to create the Hangman on the right side. That was a kind of come across because we were trying to figure out, we were trying to figure out what was going on. It wasn't working at first, but then with the help of a few classmates, we finally got it going. Got a good-looking Hangman. Looks exactly like that. It's our leftovers on the board. And yeah, so it displays real nice whenever you get a wrong answer. So I guess, yeah, fully functional, we can definitely.
That's it. We'll take a pause now too.